Hi, this is Dr. Vince Belanzi, and I wanted to add another episode to what we're doing with my book. In the first videos, I've talked an introduction talking about my book, Health Recklessly Abandoned. And in that book, I am teaching people how to design a lifestyle that will actually cure and prevent disease. I can say cure because I've seen many, many people turn their lives around and, in a sense, not have a disease anymore. And even diseases as serious as cancer can go through remission, but especially lifestyle diseases like diabetes and heart disease. We help people resolve those things all the time. And one of the first steps in designing a proper lifestyle is really learning what real food is. Now, I know people out there are saying, well, I eat real food. I hear that every day. But when we really sit down and analyze it, we find that they're eating a lot of things that perhaps they didn't realize weren't so good for them. So in the name of real food, I want to talk about a process called xenohormesis, because it's an illustration of how food is really communication. The food that you eat communicates signals to your body. It starts things up. It is nutrients. You need certain raw materials. You need certain precursors, but it's also information that is carried to your body. For example, in the study of xenohormesis, they've actually found how seasonally grown local produce will actually communicate to the body the environmental conditions presently in place. For example, there's a drought going on. So the plants are undergoing the stress of the drought, and they will actually prepare the human body for that same stress. This has now been proven scientifically as studies are ongoing. There's a lot to do with how your genes express, how your genes respond to what's going on in the environment, depending on what you choose to put into your body. So it can make a huge difference on the results that you get, and it does. If I'm consuming food pretty much the way it comes off the farm, where it hasn't been in sterilized ground with pesticides, and in a sense, the more you take care with the plants, the less value they may have for you. Those bitter tastes, those chemicals in the plant actually have a xenohormetic effect. Xeno means foreign from the environment, and hormesis is a form of stimulation or communication, and often described as a small amount of something having a much larger effect. Now, medical toxicologists speak about xenohormetic effects when they talk about the fact that something almost like homeopathy, that a small amount of something can actually induce or turn something on, where a large amount could be actually fatal. A little bit of arsenic is actually considered to be perhaps a necessary nutrient, but of course a lot can hurt you. And we can use xenohormesis in describing a lot of effects in the human body. One of the real common effects is the xenohormetic effect on your mitochondria. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard this, but some people will say, well, you shouldn't exercise because you're going to make free radicals. But you have to realize that when you do exercise in the right amount, of course it can be overdone, but when you're exercising, your body is stimulated to actually make a lot more antioxidants to control the pro-oxidants or free radicals that you're producing through exercise. So when I exercise, I make these free radicals, these reactive molecules, and they can do damage. They're also part of the process of making energy, of protection against bacteria. I mean, there's a lot of ways that your body needs and uses free radicals. They just need to be kept under control. When I exercise, I actually stimulate my body to make more of the natural antioxidants that I have, glutathione, SOD, but I create a situation where I'm much better protected because I'm going to produce a lot of extra. In a sense, the body adapts to that higher free radical load. Just like the story, and it's not a story anymore, we actually have seen in science where it happens, but you have a child who doesn't get exposed to certain things in the environment, and the immune system doesn't mature as readily, and they aren't as well capable to fight off infections and other things because their body, in a sense, hasn't seen them, has not prepared, has not adapted. So in the xenohormetic effect, we can see food communicating to the human body, to your physiology, actually turning things on, telling your body what to do. And another example of xenohormetic effect is the long ago controversy, not that long ago actually, controversy over whether or not supplementation was actually helpful in the way of humans, instead of eating food, going to supplements. It's not really what was trying to happen, but supplement manufacturers were trying to make supplements, and it was argued that what they were making wasn't effective. A real good example of that is fish oil. The question was posed, how can this little capsule of fish oil that I swallow actually have any kind of effect on my body? It's not like the amount of fats that I should get in my diet. What they found was that little capsule contained enough molecules to actually get in and hit receptors in the digestive tract that actually got the body to do something. So it wasn't necessarily that a huge amount was needed, it just that some was needed in the right form. So a little bit of something can have a grand effect in the body. Again, turning things on, turning things off, actually creating a communicated effect, a stimulus response towards this type situation. I don't get that out of foods, or let's say false foods, processed foods. That communication is lost. In fact, what many people eat is nothing more than starch, right? Flour all day long, cold cereals and pastas, and not that you can't eat those things, but there's so much value in what we call phytonutrients. Yes, you get vitamins and minerals and other things out of the plant. You get essential nutrients, but you also get these phytonutrients, these stress chemicals the plant's made that actually stimulate your body to take action and adapt and be ready for the environment. So we'll talk more about real food. It's going to take more than one short video to get into that, but it's the beginning of my book. And the reason it's the beginning is because it's perhaps not the most important thing. There are many important factors in having a lifestyle that prevents disease, but it's an important factor what you choose to put in your own body. It should be primarily food, and we need to understand what food is. Just because you eat wheat bread instead of white bread doesn't mean you're there. So again, there'll be another few videos in this series. We're going to talk about what real food is. Look up the word xenohormesis. Read the first chapter in my book about real food, and we'll take it from there. This is Dr. Vince Belanzi. Look for more videos. We're going to get these put out, and if you get a chance, like I said, take a look at my book. It's available online. It's available in bookstores. We'll talk to you soon, right here on this channel. Thanks.